It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people.
Rachel Zegler's political opinions are making more headlines than her acting. Do you think stars should keep politics out of roles that carry generations of fan expectations? Subscribe now, because if Hollywood keeps rewriting your childhood, you deserve to know the full story first.
Why are you crying?
Oh my gosh, I saw the well, we didn't even see, but I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there, and I cried.
Rachel Zegler, the actress cast as Snow White in Disney's upcoming live-action remake, ignited controversy with a series of Instagram posts following Donald Trump's re-election in November 2024. Expressing her dismay, Zegler wrote, "I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in." She further stated, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace."
It's just, I remember watching Hunter and Tom, and I also had a wig every day on Hunger Games, so it took me a little bit longer to get ready.
These remarks drew sharp criticism, notably from conservative commentator Megyn Kelly, who labelled Zegler's comments as offensive. In response to the backlash, Zegler issued a public apology, acknowledging that her emotions had influenced her words. She wrote, "I would like to sincerely apologise for the election post I shared on my Instagram last week. I let my emotions get the best of me." Zegler continued, "Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding, and I am sorry I contributed to the negative discourse. This incident highlights the complexities public figures face when expressing political opinions, especially when their views conflict with segments of their audience. It also underscores the potential impact of social media on public discourse and personal reputations."
So how does it feel to join this elite group of Disney princesses? Can you believe it?
No, not at all. It's unbelievable. I mean, I look at that girl and I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Zegler's apology was relatively quick, and it seemed sincere. She also mentioned that she respected everyone's right to their opinion, even if that opinion differed from hers. However, not everyone accepted her apology. For some, the damage had already been done. Many felt that her words couldn't be easily forgiven, especially given the charged political climate in the US at the time.
You know, this is a classic film that established the Disney name, and now I'm a part of that legacy to some degree, and it's not something I take lightly.
In the weeks following her apology, Zegler continued to face criticism from fans and media outlets alike. While some defended her right to express her opinions, many others expressed their dismay, calling her comments unprofessional and inappropriate, especially considering her involvement in a family-friendly film like Snow White.
Oh my god, well, when you get to wear Sandy Powell, first of all, insane, and then you get to be lit by Mandy Walker, and Nadia Stacey designed your hair and makeup.
While Zegler may have thought she had apologized enough to smooth things over, her involvement in Disney's Snow White live-action remake put her under an even bigger microscope. Disney is famous for its image, and, historically, has preferred to keep its stars apolitical, especially when it comes to major projects that are targeted at children and families. Think about the controversy surrounding The Mandalorian's Gina Carano, who was fired after a series of politically charged statements and comparisons between political discrimination and historical persecution.
I just fell in love with the idea of performing live and the big, beautiful costumes and everything in between. I loved it.
For Zegler, though, this is a different situation. Unlike Carano, who was ousted from The Mandalorian, Zegler's role in Snow White is still firmly in place. The film, set to be released in 2025, is one of Disney's flagship projects, and Zegler's portrayal of the iconic princess is central to its success. But with Disney's preference for its stars to stay neutral, some insiders began to wonder, would Zegler's political commentary affect the film's reception? Could Disney risk the same kind of backlash that Carano faced?
It's really quite wonderful to be a part of the Disney family, and obviously to join the league of so many wonderful live-action princesses, but also so many that have been depicted in animation as.
It's worth noting that Disney hasn't made any official moves to distance itself from Zegler. Unlike Carano, Zegler hasn't faced any serious repercussions from the studio yet. However, Disney is known for playing the long game, so it's still up in the air whether they'll distance themselves from Zegler should her political remarks continue to spark outrage.
And it's just the most emotional experience to see little girls dress up as Snow White, and I hope that they will for years to come.
Zegler's political comments didn't just upset her critics. They split her fan base right down the middle. On social media, fans have expressed a range of emotions in response to the controversy. Some fans defended Zegler, arguing that she has every right to express her views, just as anyone else does. "She's just being honest," one Twitter user wrote. "Celebrities should be able to share their political opinions without getting cancelled."
It's like the most incredible thing in the world. And then all of a sudden you open your eyes and you watch the playback, which I never do. And I saw myself on screen and I just wanted to throw up. I was so happy.
Others, however, were less forgiving. They took to Twitter to express their disappointment, saying that Zegler's remarks were completely inappropriate, especially when she's involved in family-friendly projects. One disgruntled fan tweeted, "You don't get to trash an entire group of people just because you disagree with them. She lost me as a fan."
I feel very bratty about it, where I'm like, during lunch, like secretly washing my hands and like.
The backlash wasn't limited to social media comments. Fans began to criticize Disney's decision to cast Zegler in such an important role. If they really wanted to promote a Snow White remake, why pick someone who's already made enemies with half of the country? One commenter said. The backlash even reached mainstream news outlets, with many questioning whether Zegler's political stances would affect the film's box office numbers.
Well, this is the flagship animation that made Disney what it is, and to be a part of that is such an honor.
Yeah, she is the OG princess.
She is.
The drama didn't stop on social media. In fact, one of the most dramatic moments came from Jonah Platt, the son of Snow White's producer, Mark Platt. In a heated Instagram post, Jonah blasted Zegler for her political remarks, accusing her of hijacking the Snow White project and turning it into a political platform.
The most fun you can have in a movie theater, I really do believe that, to have people whistling along and tapping their feet to the songs.
Jonah Platt's post, which was later deleted, set social media ablaze. The film's producer's son called Zegler's actions narcissistic, suggesting that her political views were overshadowing the film's core message. "She's ruining a classic Disney film with her politics," Platt wrote, implying that her commentary was a distraction from the film's true purpose.
It was the most incredible experience, and the fan reaction was insane. We didn't even see what they were clapping for. I think it was good. I don't know.
Sizzle. We didn't see anything.
Though Zegler has remained silent about Jonah's comments, the fact that a producer's son would speak out publicly is significant. It indicates that there may be deeper tensions behind the scenes regarding the Snow White project, especially as it relates to Zegler's controversial remarks.
None of us are really pretty wake-uppers. And I had to pretend to be, which was very fun.
The controversy around Rachel Zegler escalated dramatically when she began receiving death threats following her viral political comments. Once known primarily for her roles in West Side Story and Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Zegler was now a lightning rod in a heated cultural debate. While some defended her right to free speech, others viewed her as emblematic of Hollywood's political bias. The backlash highlighted the deep divisions in the public sphere and the dangers of high-profile activism. A spokesperson for Zegler condemned the threats, stating, "No one deserves to be targeted with violence for expressing their views." Despite the support, the situation left many questioning whether this storm would permanently affect her Hollywood trajectory.
It's very validating. A lot of hard work has gone into this film, but so much love, truly, speaking for myself and also for the filmmakers behind it.
At the center of Rachel Zegler's controversy lies a much bigger debate. Should celebrities be held accountable for their political views when they voice them publicly? Her outspoken remarks have split fans. Some argue that actors, especially those in family-friendly franchises like Disney, should focus on their craft and steer clear of divisive topics. She's not just expressing opinions, she's alienating half the audience. One critic commented online,
We've written so many new ones for this film as well. The filmmakers have taken such good care of this timeless classic, and the way that
Others, however, defend her right to speak out, claiming that celebrities have a responsibility to use their platform for causes they believe in. Staying silent on injustice is a privilege not everyone can afford, tweeted one supporter. Still, the question remains, did Zegler go too far by directly criticizing a large portion of the public? Or is she simply exercising her freedom of speech in an industry that's slowly beginning to accept louder, more personal voices? The answer isn't simple, but the conversation is far from over.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
As of now, Disney has made no official statement regarding the backlash surrounding Rachel Zegler. The studio's silence has only fueled speculation about whether they'll continue backing her or eventually cut ties to protect the Snow White brand. With the film set for a 2025 release and Zegler in the lead role, Disney is in a tricky position.
My advice is to try, but also just to learn by experience. You don't have to pay $1 million to get training.
The company has taken action in the past, famously firing Gina Carano from The Mandalorian after her controversial posts. But Zegler's situation is different. She's the face of a multi-million-dollar flagship project, and replacing her would be costly and chaotic.
I never would have imagined that I would get to be Snow White. So truly just for people to see someone who looks like them, someone who represents a dreamer.
Still, with fan outrage growing and the film already under a microscope, the pressure is mounting. Will Disney double down or pivot away to protect its image? The next few months may determine whether Snow White can recover or become a cautionary tale of controversy over casting.
A musical brings people together is something to be studied in a lab, honestly, and it's just the most fun movie-going experience, and I really hope that it encourages people to go out and see it in a theater.
The dust hasn't settled on Rachel Zegler's political statements, and the future remains uncertain. Whether she's able to bounce back from this controversy, or if it leads to permanent damage to her career, is still up in the air. One thing's for sure, her political views have added an unexpected layer of complexity to her already high-profile career.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
So, what do you think? Should Zegler have kept her political views to herself, or is she right to speak out on issues that matter to her? Do you think Disney will distance itself from her, or will they stand by their star? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what you think about this Hollywood drama. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest gossip, breaking news, and exclusive insider info from the world of entertainment.